In a world that has long been enamored with the enigma of Johnny Depp, the chameleon actor, the brooding artist, the eternal pirate, it seems that a new, unexpected chapter of his life has begun to unfold. It is not another movie role, not another courtroom saga, nor even a musical collaboration with rock legends. No, this time, the spotlight has turned to something more human, more delicate, and infinitely more powerful: love. Rumors have been swirling for months. Whispers first caught in the dim corners of European cafes, and later blazing across the internet like wildfire. Johnny Depp, 62 years old and still radiating that unmistakable air of mystery, appears to have entered a new romance, a relationship that has not only captivated fans, but reignited a global fascination with the man behind the myth. A chance encounter sparks the fire. The story reportedly began in London, that moody, rain-slicked city that has so often served as the stage for Depp's real-life reinventions. Following his return to the public eye after years of turbulent headlines, Depp had relocated to the United Kingdom for peace, privacy, and proximity to his creative roots. London offered him both, and perhaps something far greater. According to close sources, the encounter happened not at a glamorous event, but in an almost poetic setting, a small, dimly lit gallery in Soho, where an exhibition of postmodern art drew a crowd of quiet admirers. Depp, known for his deep appreciation of painting, literature, and music, arrived unannounced, dressed in his usual layered scarves, fedora hat, and tinted glasses. Among the attendees was a mysterious woman, an art curator reportedly of European descent, whose name remains fiercely protected by those close to the star. The pair are said to have exchanged a few words over a painting by Francis Bacon, a haunting piece that mirrored Depp's own history of emotional intensity. What began as an art discussion, sources claim, soon became a conversation that stretched long past the gallery's closing hours. From sparks to flames in the months that followed, the two were spotted together on several occasions, always discreetly, often under the veil of London's fog. At first, tabloids dismissed it as friendly companionship, noting Depp's long list of creative associates in the art world. But as sightings increased, quiet dinners in Notting Hill, a weekend escape to Somerset, and even subtle gestures at charity events, it became clear that this was something deeper. An eyewitness described one such moment during a charity concert in Camden. They weren't overtly affectionate, but you could feel the connection. He was laughing, a real, full laugh, something we haven't seen from him in years. She had this calm energy about her, and he just seemed grounded. Grounded, that word echoes through the circles surrounding Depp today. After years of chaos, headlines, and heartbreak, the actor seems to have rediscovered a kind of emotional stability. Insiders describe a new version of Johnny, one more serene, introspective, and quietly radiant. The rebirth of a man. Once broken to understand the magnitude of this transformation, one must remember the storm Depp endured. His public and personal trials had become global spectacles, the kind that could shatter any spirit. But Johnny Depp is not just any man. He has always been a creature of contradiction, tender yet rebellious, reclusive yet magnetic, fragile yet unbreakable. In recent interviews, Depp hinted at finding peace through art and through love, a cryptic statement that now, in light of current events, seems to carry new meaning. Those close to him say that this relationship has become his sanctuary, a private world untouched by fame, noise, or the ghosts of his past. She's helped him find calm, says a longtime friend. He's painting again, writing again, smiling again. It's like watching the artist he was in the 90s come back to life, only wiser, softer. Love in the age of shadows, of course, in today's digital age. No romance, especially one involving Johnny Depp, can remain entirely hidden. Once the first photographs surfaced, grainy images of the pair walking hand in hand through a quiet London park, social media erupted. The hashtags #DeppInLove or Mystery Muse and Johnny Depp romance trended worldwide. Fans split into factions, some celebrating his happiness, others fiercely protective, wary of new faces in his life after years of turbulence. Yet the overwhelming sentiment was joy. The world seemed collectively relieved to see their beloved artist, the man who had given them Captain Jack Sparrow, Edward Scissorhands, and Donnie Brasco smiling again. In a fan tweet that went viral, one admirer wrote, "He's not just acting anymore, he's living again." That smile says everything words can't, and perhaps that's true. For all the speculation, all the curiosity about who she is, what she does, or where she came from, the essence of this story isn't about names or identities. It's about resurrection, the rebirth of a soul through the gentle power of love, a new muse. A new art insiders close to Depp's creative circles say that this romance has also sparked a new wave of artistic expression in him. At his countryside estate, he has reportedly been painting for hours daily, producing vivid, emotionally charged canvases unlike anything seen from him before. A source who has seen some of the works describes them as full of light, hopeful, romantic, almost dreamlike. One particular piece is said to depict a woman's silhouette surrounded by gold and crimson, the unmistakable mark of passion, and rebirth. Depp's musical collaborators from the Hollywood vampires have also noticed the shift. During rehearsals, he has been described as more engaged, more playful, often bringing acoustic guitars to jam sessions and improvising love ballads that echo the spirit of early rock poetry. "You can tell he's inspired again," said a bandmate. "It's not just the music, it's in his aura. He walks into a room, and there's this quiet joy about him. The world reacts predictably. The press dove deep into speculation, with tabloids scrambling to identify the mystery woman. Some claimed she was an art historian from France. Others whispered of an English writer or even a fellow musician. None of these claims have been confirmed, and Depp himself has chosen to remain silent, a rare move in a media landscape hungry for confession. When asked by a journalist during a recent film panel in Paris about his new chapter, Depp smiled faintly, paused for a moment, and replied, "Sometimes life gives you a second sunrise. You don't question it, you just walk into the light." That quote was instantly immortalized, shared millions of times across social media platforms, translated into dozens of languages, and even printed on fan-made t-shirts. From turmoil to tranquility, Depp's journey toward this newfound light has been long and winding. After decades of fame and fortune, his personal life became an open wound, dissected, debated, and sensationalized. Yet through every trial, he never lost his artistry, his compassion, or his curious spirit. Now, with this mysterious love story emerging, fans and media alike see the man reclaiming what had been lost: peace, dignity, and a quiet joy that fame could never buy. "It's poetic, really," says a film historian. Johnny has always embodied transformation. From eccentric roles to personal reinventions, he thrives in rebirth. This chapter feels like the most authentic version of him, raw, human, and finally at peace. London, the backdrop of a renaissance. London in many ways has become the crucible of Depp's rebirth. He is often spotted walking through its old streets, visiting record shops in Soho, attending intimate gigs, and quietly slipping into art exhibits. Locals describe him as humble, soft-spoken, and unfailingly kind, a far cry from the Hollywood chaos he once lived in. One gallery owner recalls an encounter. He came in just before closing time, looking for old vinyl and vintage sketches. He spent almost an hour talking about art and poetry. Not once did he mention movies or fame. He was just Johnny. And perhaps that's the magic of this moment, the return of Johnny Depp the man, not Johnny Depp the myth. The city has offered him a cloak of normalcy, and within that quiet anonymity, love has found him once more. The world watches, the heart hopes. As the mystery deepens, the fascination grows. Every photograph, every rare public sighting of the couple sparks global conversation. Yet despite the noise, Depp and his partner have managed to maintain a sense of intimacy, a bubble of authenticity amid a world obsessed with spectacle. Those closest to him insist that this relationship is unlike any before. It is built not on glamour or fame, but on shared silence, art, and the simplicity of human connection. "He doesn't need fireworks anymore," says a longtime confidant. "He's found warmth in candlelight. Beyond the silver screen professionally, Depp's resurgence mirrors his personal revival. Reports suggest he's been working on several new projects, both cinematic and musical, with a creative vigor reminiscent of his early career. His upcoming collaborations are said to reflect deeper emotional themes: redemption, aging, and the enduring power of love. Insiders reveal that one of his forthcoming film scripts, currently under wraps, centers around a man who rediscovers love in the twilight of his life, an eerie reflection of Depp's real-life narrative. Fans around the world reignite. Their love from Los Angeles to Tokyo, Paris to Mumbai, the Depp fandom has reawakened with fervor. Tribute videos, fan art, and emotional messages flood social platforms daily. Admirers who once feared he had retreated permanently from public life now rejoice at his visible happiness. A London-based fan summed up the collective sentiment in an interview. "He's been through fire, but now he shines. This isn't just a love story. It's a story of survival." Indeed, survival and transformation have always defined Johnny Depp. Through every storm, he has emerged not untouched, but wiser. And now, with this mysterious romance illuminating his path, the world sees a man reborn not by fame, but by feeling. The love that redefined Johnny Depp. What makes this chapter truly remarkable is its subtlety. There are no grand gestures, no red carpet declarations, no interviews filled with romantic revelations. Instead, there is quiet, the kind of silence that speaks volumes. Perhaps the greatest story here is not who she is, but what she represents: peace, grounding, and a return to authenticity. In an era when celebrity relationships often play out under a blinding spotlight, Johnny Depp's mystery romance is a masterclass in privacy and respect. The actor once said in an old interview, "Love is not loud. It's the quiet that fills the room when the noise fades." Today, that sentiment seems prophetic. What lies ahead as of now, there is no official statement, no confirmation, no denial. Just the simple truth visible in photographs. Two souls walking side by side, unhurried, unguarded. Insiders predict that Depp's new relationship may become the cornerstone of his next artistic era, one where vulnerability replaces defiance and love replaces pain. Rumors also suggest a forthcoming art exhibition that may feature his latest paintings, many inspired by a muse who brought back the light. The final word in the end, whether this story remains a private romance or blossoms into a public union, one thing is certain. Johnny Depp's love chapter has reignited the world's heart, from the quiet corners of London to the roaring applause of fans worldwide. His journey is no longer just about survival. It is about rebirth. It's the tale of a man who, after being burned by chaos, has finally found warmth again. And as the world watches, one can almost hear the unspoken poetry beneath it all. From ashes, he rose not as a phoenix but as a man, loved, alive, and unafraid to feel again. The rebirth of a legend, inside Johnny Depp's secret London life and the love that transformed everything. World might have thought it had already seen every side of Johnny Depp, the eccentric genius, the misunderstood outsider, the cinematic chameleon who disappeared into every role he touched. But what's happening now in London feels entirely new. It is not about reinvention for the screen. It is about rediscovery of the soul. If the first half of his life was a tale of fire, rebellion, and heartbreak, then this new chapter is all about serenity, reflection, and love, a kind of quiet revolution happening behind closed doors, far from Hollywood, far from the chaos of cameras, the hidden corners of London, his new world in the heart of Hampstead, where ivy crawls across brick walls and the rhythm of life slows to a gentle hum. Johnny Depp has built a sanctuary. Locals speak in hushed tones of the actor's presence, the familiar figure with a wide-brimmed hat, a notebook tucked under his arm, and a soft smile that greets those who recognize him but choose to let him be. Within this private world, the mystery woman, still unnamed, still fiercely protected, is said to play a quiet but profound role. Neighbors have described the pair strolling through the hidden lanes, often with coffee in hand, stopping to watch street musicians or sketching at the park. They blend in, yet somehow they glow, one shopkeeper told a local paper. He looks peaceful, like a man who has finally come home. A love rooted in simplicity, for a man who once lived amid the whirlwind of global fame. Depp's life now seems beautifully ordinary, and therein lies its power. Friends close to him describe a daily rhythm that is both humble and healing. Mornings spent painting in natural light, afternoons filled with music, evenings with books, laughter, and simple meals shared in candlelight. It's said that the two bond over a shared love of literature and art. Rimbaud, Van Gogh, Leonard Cohen, and that many of their private conversations stretch late into the night, often about creativity, loneliness, and the search for meaning. She doesn't treat him like a movie star, says an insider. She treats him like a man, and that's what he's always needed. Art as therapy. The colors of his soul, Johnny Depp's studio in London has become a sacred space of rebirth. Once cluttered and chaotic, it now carries a sense of tranquility. On the walls hang large canvases, bold, dreamlike pieces mixing abstract expressionism with surreal portraits. Observers say that his new series, rumored to be titled The Return to Light, captures the evolution of his emotions over the past 2 years. Each painting tells a silent story, one of pain, redemption, and the soft arrival of love. A visitor described one particularly moving piece, a pair of intertwined hands surrounded by warm hues of gold and crimson. Beneath it, scrawled faintly in Depp's handwriting, was a single line. She steadied the storm. Those 5 words have now become a quiet mantra among his fans, an emblem of how deeply this relationship has touched him. The secret muse behind. His music, but the transformation doesn't stop at the canvas. In recent months, Depp has also returned to songwriting with a renewed spirit. Those who've attended private sessions in his home say that the music he's composing now is unlike anything he's done before. Poetic, vulnerable, tinged with both nostalgia and hope. He's been working closely with a few trusted musicians, crafting what some describe as a sonic diary, songs about second chances, lost innocence, and the rediscovery of love at life's crossroads. A close collaborator said, "It's his most personal work yet. You can feel the emotion in every lyric. It's as if he's singing not to the world, but to one person, the one who brought him back to himself." Industry whispers suggest this music may form the backbone of a new solo project slated for 2026. A deeply introspective record that blends folk rock and storytelling in a way that only Johnny could. The woman who changed everything, though her identity remains under wraps. Whispers from insiders paint a vivid picture of the mysterious woman who has become the anchor in Depp's life. She is reportedly in her early 40s, educated in art history, fluent in several languages, and known in private circles for her deep intellect and quiet charisma. Unlike past relationships shaped by the glare of fame, this one thrives in the shadows, nourished by trust, silence, and mutual respect. She is said to have encouraged Depp to step back from public noise and reconnect with what truly matters: his art, his peace, and his truth. She's not part of his world. She's his escape from it, says one of Depp's old friends. She doesn't need his spotlight, and that's why she's the light he follows. A healing journey behind this romance lies something even deeper. Healing. After years of battles, misunderstandings, and relentless scrutiny, Depp's spirit had been scarred. But love, real love, has a way of mending what time and fame cannot. Friends say he has become noticeably healthier, happier, and more grounded. He's reportedly given up smoking heavily, reduced his drinking, and started walking daily, simple acts of self-care that reflect profound inner change. He's taking care of himself again, a confidant revealed. He wakes up early, paints, writes, plays guitar, and smiles more than ever. It's like the weight of the world has lifted off his shoulders. The public's renewed devotion, it's rare for the world to witness an artist's transformation. In real time, rarer. Still, when that artist is someone like Johnny Depp, whose every step has been magnified for decades. Yet the reaction to this new chapter has been overwhelmingly tender. Fan gatherings in London have quietly multiplied, not in hysteria, but in heartfelt support. Art students paint murals of him surrounded by glowing colors, Musicians perform tributes inspired by his renewed optimism. Social media platforms have become flooded with the tag "One Depp Renaissance," celebrating not only his rumored romance but also his spiritual rebirth. "We're not just watching Johnny Depp fall in love," one fan wrote. "We're watching him come alive again. Cinema awaits his return professionally, too. The world waits with bated breath." After his critically acclaimed comeback performance in Jean du Barry, Depp has been selective about his next roles. Insiders hint at several projects currently in pre-production, all chosen carefully, reflecting themes of forgiveness, art, and human connection. One particularly intriguing rumor suggests that Depp is considering directing again, his first time since The Brave in 1997. Sources describe the project as deeply autobiographical, centering on an aging artist who rediscovers love after losing everything. If true, it would be the ultimate mirror of his own journey. Art imitating life, life feeding art, in a cycle that only Johnny Depp could create. Private letters and poetic reflections among. The more touching rumors circulating among fans are whispers of private letters, handwritten notes, and poems Depp is said to exchange with his muse. They are reportedly full of references to art, memory, and time, written in his signature poetic prose. One excerpt, leaked anonymously online and believed to be authentic, reads, "You entered like dawn, and for the first time, I didn't fear the morning." It's a line that has now become iconic among his admirers, quoted, printed and tattooed by fans across the world. Do legacy of love more than a personal affair? This love chapter has begun to shape the way the world perceives Johnny Depp's legacy. For years, his image was fractured between the myth and the man, the star and the scandal. But now, something extraordinary is happening. People are remembering why they fell in love with his spirit in the first place. He has become not just an actor or a musician, but a living embodiment of resilience. His story stands as proof that it's never too late to begin again, that love can heal even the deepest of wounds, and that the human soul, no matter how weathered, can still burn with beauty. He's teaching the world that redemption is possible, says a culture critic. Not through spectacle, but through sincerity. Whispers of forever recently. Murmurs have begun to spread of a deeper commitment between Depp and his mysterious partner. Perhaps not a wedding, but something more symbolic, a lifelong promise. A close friend hinted that the pair exchanged simple bands, not as a statement to the world, but as a quiet gesture to each other. It wasn't about publicity, the friend explained. It was about peace. If true, it would be the final seal on the love story that has reignited global fascination, a union born not from fame, but from fate. The Philosopher of Love, in his latest rare public appearance, a charity gala for children's art education, Depp spoke briefly about life and creativity. Though he avoided mentioning his personal life, his words seemed to echo his emotional journey. We spend our early years searching for color, and sometimes we lose it in the noise. But if you're lucky, someone comes along and shows you how to see again, how to paint the world in your own light. The audience applauded. But those who have followed his story knew. He wasn't just speaking about art. He was speaking about her, the global flame from magazine covers to documentaries in the making. Depp's renaissance has become a global cultural phenomenon. Not since the early 2000s has his presence felt so magnetic. But this time it's not about fame or rebellion. It's about authenticity. In Paris, cafes play his old interviews on screens. In Tokyo, fans light candles in tribute to his return to happiness. In South America, fan clubs organize art exhibitions inspired by his new life chapter. The world, it seems, has rediscovered its muse through him. An eternal story. What makes Johnny Depp's mystery romance so universally captivating is not its secrecy, but its soul. It reminds people that beyond fame, beyond art, beyond scandal, there exists a human longing to be seen, to be understood, and to be loved. His story is every artist's story, every heart's story, a reminder that even the most shattered soul can rebuild, and even the loneliest heart can find its echo. And so, as London drizzles softly outside the windows of his quiet home, somewhere within those ivy walls, two people share laughter, coffee, and perhaps the greatest miracle of all was peace. Epilogue, the flame that never dies in the grand tapestry of his life. Johnny Depp's mystery, romance, and love chapter is not just another tale of celebrity affection. It is a revelation. It is the moment the man behind the myth reclaims his humanity, choosing love over loneliness, art over noise, light over shadow. And as the world watches this gentle rebirth unfold, one truth becomes undeniable. Johnny Depp is not just back. He is reborn, in love, in art, and in spirit. His story, once marked by storm and sorrow, now burns bright with grace. A legend rekindled not by fame, but by the quiet fire of love. A flame that, once ignited, will never fade. Dearly friends, subscribe the channel, and I wish you good luck. You should take care of yourself.